Mosakimuni Buddha. Today I want to talk to you about the practice of Buddhism again. Okay. You hear that they have 10 schools of practice of medicine. But overall, I just try to summarize you what the way to practice Buddhism. You have different way. You hear some school like Zen school, meditation school, and you said all the different school. But to summarize it, they have three main ways to practice it. The first one is a meditation. And some people, they say this one. They say that the only way you practice Buddhism is meditation. But that's not the way. That's only one discipline. And frankly, meditation or Zen meditation, sitting meditation, is pretty difficult. Because what the goal of the meditation, what they try to do is to get the alignment. And what's the alignment? That's the awakening. And in the past, there have many people, they tried Zen meditation. They failed. And they have to go back to the practice, the Pure Land practice. And Pure Land Buddhism is another school. And they have one way to practice Pure Land, okay? And why we have a Pure Land? Like I told you before, Buddha is a very good teacher. He tried to help everybody to study Buddhism because he wants everybody to benefit from the study of Buddhism, the practice of Buddhism. He says this one, the Dharma, the Buddhism, like a rain. When you have a rain, okay, in the forest, the rain benefit all the plants. The big tree, the medium tree, the small tree, and the one on the background, on the low ground, like the grass, the small plant. So it benefits everybody. It depends what kind of tree, what kind of plant you have. You absorb the rain, the water. So every benefit. There's no discrimination. There's no thing, see that. Only the big tree can get rain and the small one everybody get it. And we benefit all from the study of Buddhism, the practice of Buddhism. So you practice or Zen meditation or Pure Land or the other school, you all benefit. And you hear many schools of Buddhism and you thought they're different. But you see, they have different discipline, different school, but all over, it's the same philosophy. You can have the Indian Buddhism, the Chinese Buddhism, the Tibetan Buddhism, and recently, the Western Buddhism, okay? The WBO, Western Buddhist Organization, that's the same. The quintessence of Buddhism is a religion of love, okay? There are different that, but everything is the same. Buddha teaches how to practice love, loving kindness or loving compassion. So you can see different way, different style, different flavor, but overall, it's a religion of love. Teach people how to love, how to practice love. That's the same thing, okay? You can see the Tibetan, you can see the Chinese, you can see the Vietnamese, all the Buddhism, the same flavor. This is the religion of love. Or American Buddhism, or Western Buddhism, the same thing. There's no much difference. So like I said, this one, I make a comparison, this one, and you see the difference. You want to learn French, okay? Like for example, you have the desire to learn French. There are different ways to learn French. You don't learn in this country. You decide to go to France to study. So he said, okay, I want to study French. So what I do, I go to France, the country. I go there, I learn French. So this way, the people in practice Buddhism said, what I want to do, I want to practice Pure Land. That's the one school, okay? I go to Pure Land, I get there, it's a big school, I study Buddhism until I graduate. Like I told you before, Buddha is a very good teacher. He do every way so people can study Buddhism. So, what's the Pure Land? The Pure Land is one school where the people, they don't have the special capability like people. They can study Zen meditation and they can get the alignment. They can accomplish it themselves to get the alignment. The people, they practice Pure Land. They're good people. What they do, they practice this way. I do the chanting. I pray Amitabha Buddha until I get to the Pure Land. And at the Pure Land, it's a big school. I study with many of my brother, my sister, because the system Pure Land, like a big brother, big sister system. You go there, somebody help you, motivate you, tutor you. You study until you understand, until you graduate. You graduate, you keep studying until you graduate, you get alignment. That's the philosophy of Pure Land. Okay? And somebody say this one, if you practice only Zen, some people they succeed, some people they don't succeed. The majority people, they practice Zen meditation, they don't succeed. It's so difficult because they have to get to the point. You have to realize, you have to get to the point you can go to discover your true self. And discover true self in this life, sometimes it's so difficult. Not everybody can go back to discover the true self and to get the awakening, the discover the true self and to succeed. So a lot of them, the midway at the end, they give up. They have to go back to Pure Land, another practice, so they study. Another study is to study the theory, okay? So some people, they say, okay, I want to study French, I go to France to study, okay? Some people said, no, I stay in America. I go to study French with one professor who taught me French. I study right in America here. I study French in America here, and with a French professor or the American professor who taught me French. When after I finished studying, I go to France to get post training, get a little bit more training. So the people, they study Buddhism, okay? I said, I study Buddhism. If somebody teach me Buddhism, and after I finish studying, I go a little bit further so I can accomplish the awakening, okay? Like the people, they study French here with the French professor and decide to go to France after the study. And some people, they said, no, I don't study. I don't study French. I don't study nobody. I don't do anything. Like people, they said, I don't know about Buddhism. I don't do anything. So that's the kind of people. So some people said, no, I study only the theory, okay? The French, the vocabulary, or the composition, everything, literature, only that one. I don't practice it. So some people said, okay, I just study the Dharma and nothing else. I didn't practice it. So that's the way like the people, they practice Buddhism too. Okay, I just want to listening to the Dharma, but I didn't practice it. So that's the way. Some people, they do the same way. But some people said, no, I didn't stop there. I studied the theory. I studied French. In the same time, I practiced it. It make it better. So I have to practice it. Like the people, they do Buddhism the same thing. I study the Dharma. In the same time, I practice it. So it's a very complementary method to study, to practice. So that's exactly like you study French, like I told you. So you study Buddhism, you study the good way, you study the Dharma, the theory, and you practice it. You go hand in hand, and you will succeed. That's the best way to do it. Okay? And I talked to him and Christopher yesterday. He said, when you study Buddhism, you study sincerity. You study, you're sincere to yourself. Okay? You're sincere to yourself. You find out. When I talked to the parent of Christopher, they told me, they say that Christopher discovered Buddhism himself, and he decided himself to go to practice Buddhism. It's wonderful. That, something I tell him, it's the karma. Okay? For some reason, it's the karma. He discovered at a young age, he go to find the Buddhism and want to practice Buddhism. I tell him a few stories. It's amazing, the temple. For some reason, he changed his mind. He turned to his fiancée and said, I'm sorry, I don't want to get married anymore. I want to become a monk. Okay? Surprised her. And he talked to his father. His father get furious. His father, he's practicing Catholic, and he's lawyer. Come from a very rich family. His father doesn't accept it. He said, no way. You're a white man, you're educated, and you're a Catholic family, and you want to become a monk. He didn't accept it. So he said, no, father, I love you, but it's my life, it's my vocation. I want to become a monk, okay? So the father, he didn't accept it. But he go in, become a monk, okay? When you go in the temple, you see he's a master, the Chinese master. His Chinese master have a doubt too. He said, I don't know if you can be a monk, okay? You're a white person, you're handsome, you have education, you come from a rich family, I don't know, you ready to become a monk, okay? So I said, I give you a challenge. I said, what kind of challenge, teacher? He said, a 3-step, you bow down, okay? He said, it's so easy. He said, no, from San Francisco to Seattle, 1,900 miles. He said, I take it. So he did it for 3 years and a half. Every 3 steps, he bowed down. And people think, oh God, you're crazy. What are you doing? He said, I didn't bow to anybody. I bow to myself. I practice modesty, humility. I bow to myself, my Buddha nature. I didn't bow to the Buddha outside. I didn't bow to anybody. I didn't bow to my teacher. I bowed to myself. He did it. And this is amazing. And he said, he did it. He continued to do it. And he's a teacher. He's a very good monk. They say that he's a bodhisattva. He have the communication with the other people. He can read the mind of people. He said when he bowing, he have a blue jean, and he bowed too many times, torn out the blue jean. It hurt his knee. So he wished it. He said, if I can have another blue jean to change it. He said, for some reason, he go to trash can nearby the place he bowed out, and he fly another pair of blue jeans. He's a teacher, read his mind, bring the blue jeans, put there. He said, it's amazing. He said, and why my teacher, he know that I need another pair of blue jeans. He bring that for him. And he keep doing that. He's still now a monk. He's been monk probably for 40, 50 years already. He's been, probably now he's 70 or late 60. And he speaks fluently Chinese now, okay? And he's a wonderful, wonderful monk, okay? And the Chinese monk, his teacher, he died already. He died at age 79 in San Francisco. But the American monk, his name is Han Shua. His name. He's still practicing there. And the Chinese teacher, he said, because he know about the past, he said the last time, him and me, we were two Chinese monks. We practiced together. This time, he come back as American. I come back as Chinese again, and I become his teacher. Okay? I have another friend. She's American nun. She's a Buddhist nun. She's my friend. She came to see me about 15 years before when I was in the other temple, the old temple. She told me a story, the same thing. She said, I'm a practicing Christian. See, Christian church. She said, I've been secretary for that church for 35 years. I dedicate my life to help the church. I do it. One day I go by one temple in California. I have an urgent feeling I'm one of the nuns there. So she told her mother, she said, I want to become a nun. Her mother that accepted, said, how in the world? He's been acting for the church for 35 years. Now he decided to become a nun. Yes, mother, I'm a nun. So she go in, she asked the head monk there, I want to come in to be a novice and to become a nun. So she come in, she stayed there for 12 years to practice, and she become a nun. She get ordinated. Now she practices in San Diego. She come to me, she said, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I know that I'm a nun. I know that's the reason why I changed it. So I tell Jimmy Christopher yesterday, said, it's you. I didn't try to influence you, or your teacher, Master Quang, influence you, but it's up to you. It's your life, okay? It's you. You decide what you want to do, what you want to be, what you want to do. Nobody can influence you. I don't have a right to influence you. And your teacher, the same thing. You decide, up to you, okay? And it's a karma too. I said in life, it's amazing. For example, think about husband and wife. Why they have a million of men? One lady choose another man to become her husband. It had to be a karmic relationship before. Why the man have a million women choose that woman as his wife? It had to have a karmic relationship. Okay? You cannot see that randomly or something that, no, it's not randomly. It had to have some karmic relationship. It happened. So I told Jimmy and Christopher, I said, that's your karma, okay? And I in my life, I said in my life, for example, my midlife, I become a monk, okay? I always, I still a doctor. I'm a medical doctor. I told him why I become a doctor, okay? I was born in Cambodia. And that time, my father, my mother, they just get married. They went for honeymoon. They went to Cambodia. My father, he come from a rich family, landowner in the north. So he didn't want my mother to be the mother-in-law in a big family, and it's very difficult. A lot of restriction. So he asked my grandfather permission to go to honeymoon, go to Cambodia. He go there and get a job and stay there. So after I was born there, they have the news that my grandfather is dying. So he had to come back to the north for the funeral. Okay? And I was sick. I have a malaria because I went to in Cambodia. I had malaria. I have a big spleen. I have a liver problem. I was dying. So one doctor, he's a French educated doctor. He's very idealistic. He treat me. He tell my mother, I treat you son for free. I know you're poor. You can't afford to. I treat him for free. But he tell my mother, he said, take your wedding ring off, it's gold. Sell it. Buy the medicine for him. I treat him for free. So I get well. So after I grow up, I always visit him because I'm grateful to him. He tell me, only way you pay me back is to be a doctor. Do like me. Serve the people. Treat the people like I treat you. I said, yes, sir. I won't do it. So I go to school, high school. I always visit him. I'm very grateful. I visit him. He motivates me. I said, study, study, study. And I understand. He teach me anatomy. He said, the things you need to learn in medicine a lot is anatomy. So I teach you anatomy now, okay? You have to understand anatomy, study. He teach me. So I become a doctor, okay? I'm very grateful. He lived in Saigon that time. He lived up to about late 90 before he died. I'm very grateful. So I said, that's a karma, okay? I become that. And midway in my life, I'm pretty successful in my life. And I met my teacher. He's a monk from Vietnam, but he's have a big temple in Sydney, Australia. He went to San Antonio. I met him one time. I love him. So I asked him, I want to become a monk. He tell me, it's difficult. I don't know we can do it, okay? I know you're successful, you have family, you're a doctor, you're a professor. I don't know we can do it. I said, I want to be. He said, let you try, okay? Come to Australia with me. Try for 1 month. If you can see you can do it. I go there. I go to my office. I tell my employee, my office manager, I said, buy me the ticket to go to Sydney, Australia. One-way ticket. I didn't come back. I said, are you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. Only one-way ticket. I go there. So I go in there. I stay 1 month. He asked me, he said, you want to stay? I said, I want to stay. I want to be a monk. I want to get ordained. I stayed. Everybody's surprised, very surprised. They write article about me, they interview me in the news, the radio there. I said, you want to be a monk? I said, yes. I feel like it. I'm a monk. I want to be there. I give up everything to become a monk. I stay there. I stay there for a long time. I study. And I become a monk. I get ordained. My teacher, he loved me a lot. I said, you stay with me. I find some place. I give you some position. I said, no, sir, teacher. I come in the temple not for the position, not for the name and fame. I have already outside. I give up. So I come in here, become a monk. I didn't ask for position. I didn't ask for anything. I know you love me. I want you to give me something. You have a many temple. He said, I give you one. I said, no, I won't want to go back to America. I said, why? Because I was established there in San Antonio. I love San Antonio like in my hometown. I stayed there so long, 40 years. So I want to go back. I want to do something for my hometown. So I said, I come back here. Okay? I come back and then I was in the old temple for about 15 years. And I decide, for some reason, okay, we find another place in here and we build a temple. I start a temple. And I get the people to go there. And Louis the Bus,
is one of my first few American members was in the old temple. We stopped there. So now Louis Pastor come here with me again. Okay? It's amazing. We start there with many American members and everything. And it's amazing. It's something that's so amazing. I remember the first one is Dennis Estrada is my first one. He was a nurse in the army. He's a major. And he come to me. He's my first member. And we went together to China. He treated me like his father. We went to China. We go for 4 mountains in China, go together. And it's amazing. It's amazing, you know. And it's fascinating. So I told Quang, I said, the life of a monk is a wonderful life. Like Quang, I didn't know him before. He came for me about 10 years ago. He come in. He been studying Buddhism with a Korean monk, with a Thai monk, and many things. And he decided to come to me. And one day he said, he want to come in the temple. I said, okay. So we shared his head and that. He stayed. And he said, he want to become a monk. I said, that's good. That's a wonderful thing. You can be a monk. I said, the younger you come in, the better. I think you're blessed. You have more blessing than me. I come a midlife. You come young. That's fascinating. The younger you come, the better. Okay? That's the better. That's the thing. To me, it's a blessing. And I read the article. He wrote about that, and I like it. He said some people think, oh, I come become a monk, it's a sacrifice. He said, it's not a sacrifice, it's the blessing. Some people thought, oh, sacrifice everything, become a monk. He said, no, I don't sacrifice anything. I choose it. It makes me happy. It makes me have a true freedom. Because really, to become a monk or nun, you have the true freedom. Okay? Nobody forces you to do it. Nobody tie you down or do something that you come in or out, it's up to you. Okay? But I read Quang Chi's article. I said I agree with him. It's a blessing. It's not a sacrifice. Some people, I sacrifice a lot to be a monk or nun. Who asked you to sacrifice? You don't have to sacrifice. Nobody forced you. So why you say you sacrifice? You don't sacrifice anything. You choose it, and you're happy. It's your vocation. It's your decision. That's your life. If you want to love that life, do it. Okay? Like anything in life. You want to get married? Get married. You want to have a happy married life? Do it. Okay? You want to be a musician? Do it. Do it the full way. Okay? Don't do halfway. Okay? That's the way to do it. And it's amazing. And now I feel happy as a monk. Okay? I said, next life, I'll be a monk again. I do until I get the alignment. I don't think in one lifetime I can accomplish, I can get the alignment, the awakening. Because I come a little late, and I don't think I didn't perfect myself enough yet. I'm still so imperfect. So I said I have to perfect myself a little bit more. I have to improve myself a little bit more. I improve myself more, and when I get near perfection, I get the alignment. Okay? That's the things I want to do. Okay? I tell Quang Chi the same thing. He said, do it, because you won't take my place. You will be the Abbot. You will take care of this temple. That's the temple. I talked to Jimmy yesterday. He said, if for some reason, if you become a monk, that's your next position. You'll be in the position to help the people to take care of this temple and the generation to come. And the temple doesn't belong to us, monk and nun. It belongs to everybody, the common property. Our duty as monk and nun is to serve this temple. We are servants for this temple, for the three jewels, we do it. Like I talked to Quang Minh Leon Bryan, I said, you're not a monk, but you're wonderful. You're elder. He bleed for the temple. He break his bone. He do everything that. But I do that. That's your legacy. You do for the people. You don't care about people. Oh, no, okay. Leon Bryan, he did so much for the temple. No, you don't care. People know that you're doing it. You do it because you love it. You want to serve the people. You do it. So that's a wonderful thing you do it. Okay? Everybody know it, but nobody else. And you don't need the praise or anything to somebody acknowledge that. You do so much for temple. You just do it. That's Buddhism. So I hope that Master Quang Chi and Jimmy Christopher understand that. And you understand it, you practice it, you make your life very happy, very meaningful. In life, you have to make your life meaningful, okay? You don't make your life meaningful. Some people, they thought in life, you just make money, okay? Study, get a skill, make money, and have a life and sex something. I said, no, it's not that. Life is very complete, the wholesome life. You live a wholesome life. It's a difficult. It's that, but it's up to you. Make something very wholesome. But it's worth it. It's worth it to make something meaningful. To serve it, it's very noble. Like you see, the people in this country, they serve the country, the public servant. That's a nice thing to see. Some people in the other country, their president, they want a dictator, they want the power or something. In here, the president is public servant. He serves the country. He serves the people. That's a president. If you're president, to be like a king or to have a power to kill anybody, to get everything for yourself, it's not a president. It's a dictator. It's abuse of a power. Okay, take advantage of the power. But the true president is a public servant. And if they see it, they serve the country. And after you turn, you go back home, you become private citizen again. That's wonderful. But the other countries see it, they want to stay there for life. They don't want to get out. And they want to have absolute power. They're not president. They just abuser. Just profiter, that's all. So monk are done the same thing, okay? And if we see it, do it. Okay? Do it the right way. I hope that I talked to you about the practice Buddhism. You practice Buddhism, you need to understand that. And one teaching of Buddha said, the good understanding, the perfect understanding is the good mantra. You can study all the mantra, everything, you memorize it, doesn't mean anything. Only meaning is a good understanding. If you understand the sutra, you understand the Dharma, that's the good mantra. Okay? Buddha then impose on you. He said this one, you remember this one. You study the sutra or everything. It's like you use a boat to cross the river. When you reach the other shore, you don't go and grab the boat and carry with you. No, you leave a boat there. So some people use the boat again to cross the river. But you don't take advantage of that. You don't take advantage of your study, with your sutra, your understanding, and you get attached to the sutra, to the Dharma, and you carry it with you. He said, you don't get attached even to the Dharma. You're not attached to the Dharma. If you understand that, just only practice and take care of the other people. Because what is the practice Buddhism? service to all the people. That's the practice of Buddhism. It's not chanting, it's not bowing, it's not that. That's the form only. The substance is the practice. Study, understand, and practice. That's the substance of Buddhism. That's the way Buddha teach you. And you see this one, even we study Buddhism, we know that right now, around us, all the Buddha, they are practicing, they chanting, they teaching the other people. They want to benefit the other people. They don't do for themselves. They don't do because I become a Buddha, I get in the throne, somebody bow to me and have a cult of personality. Oh, I said so supreme, I get a super being. No, they never think about that. They think about, I become a Buddha, so I can serve the people. I can continue to do it, to serve the people. That's the true Buddha. Okay? Sakyamuni, he does that. Okay? He never do it, I become Sakyamuni, I'm the supreme being, I'm the only one. He told this one, you remember, I'm the Buddha, you are the Buddha in the future. So it's a very democratic system. He become a Buddha. He wants us to become a Buddha like him. After you become a Buddha, Buddha bow to you like you bow to any Buddha. You bow to one Buddha, you bow to every Buddha, okay? For example, I'm not kidding, okay? Later on, if Christopher, he become a Buddha, he's equal to Sakyamuni Buddha. He's not lower than Sakyamuni Buddha, he's equal. That's the spirit of Buddhism, okay? It's not that, Chiming, after that he become Buddha, he's a lower rank Buddha. No. When you become Buddha, you're the same rank. And you are honorable like all the Buddha. That's the Buddhism. It's a wonderful thing. They have no discrimination, no difference. Okay? You didn't see any difference there. So that's the one, the more you study Buddhism, the more you love. And I talked to Chiming, Christopher said, Buddhism is very scientific. You study Buddhism, you see how scientific is Buddhism. You look at astrology, you see it. You look at science, you see it. You look at medicine, you see it. You look at philosophy, you see it. You look at music, you see it. Everything. Buddhism is very comprehensive. Very comprehensive. Look about the atom. You see, Buddha teach you something smaller than atom, smaller than neutron, proton, some particle is smaller than that. Before we didn't know it. Like a number, numerology. Before we didn't know it. Buddha teach you trillion, something bigger than trillion, than zillion before. And like, for example, we know the nanosecond. Satna is smaller than nanosecond. It's so scientific. There's another in numerology. You know, we thought nanosecond. What's a nanosecond? 1/1000 of second, nanosecond. But Buddha teach you something shorter than nanosecond. We don't know it. The instant is shorter than nanosecond. It's a sadhana, okay? And we don't know it, but you study Buddhism, you find out that. And about the transplant. In Buddhism, you know the transplant, 26 centuries ago, Buddha teach you about transplant already. On the Bodhisattva, they give their eye to the other people. They give their bone to other people. They give them marrow to the other people, the bone marrow. They give their blood to the other people. They give the organ to the other people. They have organ transplant already. And it's a wonderful thing. You see everything. That's the reason why Buddhism is so scientific. You study about psychology. Buddhism psychology is wonderful. It's a very difficult subject, but you study psychology, you see it. The psychology for Buddhism is so advanced, so high, about the methodology. The methodology is wonderful, like Buddha teach you how to study, okay? You study Buddhism, he said, first you read it, You listen, you get the data, but he tells you, don't believe face value to what you hear, you read it. You have to use your intelligence to do the reflection, to evaluate it, to see it makes sense to you, to see it ethical or unethical, to see it before you accept it. And even you accept it, you don't accept passively. It has to be actively. That means you have to study more, so you comprehend it more. After you do that, you assimilate it, you apply it, work on that. It's very scientific. It teaches you the doubt, the scientific doubt. Without doubt, you don't advance. Like you said, you have no doubt, there have no science. Okay? On the scientists, they have the doubt, scientific doubt. They doubt something. So research, and they advance. Buddha teach you that. Who teach you the scientific doubt. You doubt something. You don't accept everything face value. So the more you study Buddhism, open a book, you see the wonderful thing you can learn. And it's amazing how much you can learn from Buddhism. That reason why Albert Einstein, he's a very smart scientist. He said the next life he will become a Buddhist person. And he said any religion has to make amendment to follow science. Science have to follow Buddhism. He said Buddhism so far advanced, so science had to follow Buddhism. Albert Einstein said that. You can open the book, read about something Albert Einstein say about Buddhism. It's a wonderful thing because so advanced. He see it. He see the advance of Buddhism. Okay? Like you said before. Okay? Before the religion, they thought, the earth, the flat, the earth is center of the universe, and the sun rotates around the earth. Completely wrong. Okay? And many priests before, they said, no, wrong. They prosecute them. They commit heresy and they prosecute them and they hurt them. But Buddha said, no. You don't have one solar system. They have a billion solar system. It's true. Billion solar system. And he said, the earth is not the center of the universe. Earth is just a planet. Tell you before. Okay? It's a planet only. And rotate around the sun. It's not the other way. And it's wonderful. And you can see how accurate Buddha teaches because he has a Buddha mind. Okay? Our mind, our regular mind, we use only 10 or 15% our mind. Albert Einstein, he's so intelligent, he used 25% of his mind. And Buddha, he's the only one, he used 100% of his mind. That's the reason why he knows so much. He said, if we use so much our mind, we go crazy. We cannot take it. The most important, the intelligent person is Albert Einstein. He used only 25% of his mind. We have a billion nerve cells. We don't use it. That's the reason why when you have a stroke, a heart attack, you get part of your brain damaged. You can learn how to connect the other part of the brain after the re-education. Some people, they learn how to talk again. They can use their extremity again. They can learn how to walk again. They can use again. It's an adaptation. Use all the part of the brain to do it. Because a lot of part of our brain, we never use it. So it's a wonderful thing to learn. So study it. Open the sutra book, open it and study it. Stephen Hawking, the astrophysicist from England. After that, he demonstrated that the cosmos, no beginning, no ending. Buddha taught before. You look at here, you read the sutra. Buddha tell you the cosmos have no beginning, no ending. Before they thought, okay, they have a big bang, the first one, and then, the end or something. Buddha said, no, there's no beginning, no ending. Now, Stephen Hawking from England, he demonstrated. I said, you don't have to demonstrate it. You open the Sutta book, you know already. Buddha told you already. There's no beginning, no ending. And it doesn't take that long to get a genius, Stephen Hawking from England, astrophysicist, to demonstrate there's no beginning, no ending. I said, open the Sutra book. You have there already. It's been 26th century, Buddha told you that no beginning, no ending. This is my talk today about something about Buddhism. Please read it. You don't have to believe me what I said. Maybe I have a bias. Maybe I say something wrong. I repent of that, do it. Use your whole effort and open the Sutta book, study it, and you'll find out. You'll find out that what you have learned from the Sutra, from the Dharma. But I thank you for your listening today. If I have any question, I will try to answer your question. If I have no question, we transfer merit and we go chanting. Namo Sakya Muni Buddha. Namo Sakya Muni Buddha. Namo Sakya Muni Buddha. Any positive reaction we accomplished today, we want to transfer to everybody and wish them the enlightenment. Today we chant the Lotus Sutra, the chapter 25. Why we chant the chapter 25? That the Avalokitesvara, that the mother of merciness. In Buddhism, loving compassion is very important. Okay, and right now we have the pandemic, so hopefully we chant this one. We transfer on the merit and we pray for the safety of people in the world against the pandemic. And another thing too, the immune system, our defense system, it depends on love. The more you love, the more you develop love, the more you build up your defense system, immunity. Immunity not only from physical immunity, from the herd immunity, from the
vaccine, but from the inside, from the love, okay? Your body can make your body more resistant to disease outside. So we chant at the chapter 25. Hopefully, we can transfer the merit and wish everybody have a safety. Okay. The universal getaway of the Bodhisattva Pacific the world sound, inviting the bell. Bodhi, speech, and mind in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow. Listen, this wonderful sound brings me back to my true home. Incense offering. In gratitude we offer this incense to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout space and time. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting our careful efforts, our wholehearted mindfulness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddha and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Opening verse. The incense in the censer now is burning on the Dharma realm in every place. Auspicious clouds appearing, our sincere intention thus fulfilling, as all Buddhas now show their perfect body. Homage to the incense cloud canopy, Bodhisattva and great Bodhisattvas. Verses for bowing. Homage to the eternally abiding Buddha, the supreme Dharma and Savior Sangha throughout the Dharma realm and the realm of empty space and three periods of time. Homage to the fundamental teacher Sakya Muni Buddha, Maitreya, future Buddha, Manjushri, great wisdom, Bodhisattva, universal great conduct, Bodhisattva, all Dharma guarding Deva Bodhisattvas, and the glorious mountain assembly of Buddha and Bodhisattva. Homage to Amitabha Buddha in the land of ultimate Astored great vow Bodhisattva and the assembly of great pure Sila Bodhisattva. Please sit down. Purification mantra. Om Suri Suri Maha Suri Suri Saha. Om Suri Suri Maha Suri Suri Saha. Om Suri Suri Maha Suri Suri Saha. The Great Compassion Mantra. Namo compassionate Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Namo great compassionate Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Namo great compassionate Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Namo Ratnajaya. Namo Mahasattvaya, Mahakarunikaya, Om Sattvaravaya, Sudanadasya, Namaskritva Iman Arya, Valokiteshvararam Brahmava, Namo Narakendi, Hri Mahavaswami, Sarva Arhato Subham Ajiyam Sarva Sattva Namo Vasava Namo Vakamavateto Tadyata Om Avalokilokate Karate Ihiri Mahabodhisattva Sarva Sarva Mara Mara Mahi Mahi Hridayam Koro Koro Karmam Doro Doro Vijate Maha Vijate Dara Dara Dhirini Shvaraya Chara Chara Mama Vimala Moktadehi Shina Shina Asham Prashari Vishwa Vishwam Prashaya Holo Holo Maram Holo Holo Hri Sara Sara Siri Siri Soro Soro Bodhaya 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 Maitreya Narakendi Dreshanina Vayamana Swaha Siddhaya Swaha Mahasiddhaya Swaha Siddhayoge Shvaraya Swaha Narakendi Swaha Maranaram Swaha Sira Simha Mokaya Swaha Sarva Mahahasaya Swaha Chakrahasaya Swaha Padmakasaya Swaha Narakendi Vaga
the unsurpassed,
profound and wonderful Dharma is difficult to encounter in hundreds of millions of eons. I now see
and hear it.
receive and uphold it, and I vow to fathom the Tathagata's true meaning. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha, Namo Shakyamuni Buddha, Namo Shakyamuni Buddha.
Namo
Lotus assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Namo Lotus assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Namo Lotus assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
Sutra
Of the lotus of the wonderful law, at that time the Bodhisattva, inexhaustible intent, immediately rose from, bared his right shoulder, pressed his palms together, and facing the Buddha spoke these words. World-honored one, this Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds. Why is he perceiver of the world sounds? The Buddha said to Bodhisattva, inexhaustible intent, good men suppose there are immeasurable hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, millions of living beings who are undergoing various trials and suffering. Hear of this Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, and single-mindedly call his name. Then at once he will perceive the sound of their voices, and they will all deliverance from their trials. If someone holding fast to the name of Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world, should enter a great fire, the fire could not burn him. This would come about because of this Bodhisattva authority and supernatural power. If one were washed away by a great flood and call upon his name, one would immediately find himself in a shallow place. Suppose there were 100, 1,000, 10,000, a million living beings who, seeking for gold, silver, lapis lazuli, seashell, agate, coral, amber, pearls, and all the treasures, set out on the great sea. And suppose a fierce wind should blow their ship off course, and it drifted to the land of Raksha demons. If among those people there is just one who calls the name of Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, then all those people will be delivered from their troubles with the Rakshas. This is why he is called perceiver of the world sounds. If a person who faces imminent threat of attack should call the name of Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, then the swords and staffs wielded the attackers would instantly shatter into so many pieces, and he would be delivered, though enough yakshas and rakshas to fill all the 1,000,000,000-fold world should try to torment a person. If they hear him calling the name of Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, and these evil demons will not even be able to look him with their evil eyes, much less do him harm. Suppose there is a person who, whether guilty or not guilty, has his body imprisoned in fetters and chains, cage and lock. If he calls the name of Bodhisattva, perceiver merchants carrying valuable treasures over a steep and dangerous road. And thou one man shouts out these, good men, do not be afraid. You must single-mindedly call on the name of Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds. This Bodhisattva can grant fearlessness to living beings. If you call his name, you will be delivered from these evil-hearted bandits. When the band of merchants hear this, they all together raise their voices, saying, Namo Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds. And because they call his name, they are at once able to gain deliverance, inexhaustible intent, the authority and supernatural power of Bodhisattva and Mahasattva, perceiver of the world sounds, are as mighty as this. If there should be living beings beset by numerous lusts and cravings, let them think with constant reverence of Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, and then they can shed their desires. If they have great wrath and anger, let them think with constant reverence of Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, and they can shed their anger. If they have great delusion, let them think with constant reverence of Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, and they can rid themselves of ignorance, inexhaustible in the Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, possesses great authority and supernatural powers, as I described, and can confer many benefits. For this reason, living beings should constantly keep the thought of him in mind. If a woman wishes to give birth to a male child, she should offer obeisance and alms to Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, and then she will bear a son blessed with merit, virtue, and if she wishes to bear a daughter, she will bear one with all the hallmarks, the roots of virtue, and is loved and respected by many persons. Inexhaustible intent, the Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, has power to do all this. If there are living beings who pay respect and obeisance to Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, their good fortune will not be fleeting or vain. Therefore, living beings should all uphold the name of Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, inexhaustible intent. Suppose there is a person who accepts and upholds the names of as many Bodhis as there are sands in 62 million Ganges, and for as long as his present body lasts, he offers them alms in the form of food and drink, clothing, bedding, and medicines. What is your would this good man or good woman gain many benefits, or would he not? Inexhaustible intent replied, they would be very many. World-honored one, the Buddha says, suppose also that there is a person who accepts and upholds the name of Bodhis, perceiver of the world sounds, and even just once offers him obeisance and alms. A good fortune gained by these two persons would be exactly equal, and with difference for 100, 1,000, 10,000, 1,000,000 kalpas, it would never be exhausted or run out. Inexhaustible, and if one accepts and upholds the name of Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, he will gain the benefit of merit and virtue. It is as immeasurable and boundless as this Bodhisattva, inexhaustible intent, said to the Buddha, world-honored one, Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds, how does he coming in the this Saha world? How does he preach the law for the sake of living beings? How does the power of expedient means apply? In this case, the Buddha said to Bodhisattva, inexhaustible good man, if there are living beings in the land who need someone in the body of a Buddha in order to be saved, Bodhisattva perceived the world sounds, immediately manifests himself in a Buddha body and preaches the law for them. If they need someone in a Pateka Buddha's body in order to be immediately he manifests a Pateka Buddha's body and preaches the law for them. If they need a voice hearer to be saved, immediately he becomes a voice hearer and preaches the law. If they need King Brahma to be saved, immediately he becomes King Brahma and preaches the law for them. If they need the Lord Shakra to be immediately he becomes the Lord Shakra and preaches the law for them. If they need the heavenly being freedom to be saved, immediately he becomes a heavenly being freedom and preaches the law. If they need the heavenly being great freedom to be saved, immediately he becomes a heavenly being great freedom and preaches the law for them. If they need a great general of heaven to be saved, immediately he becomes a great general of heaven and preaches the law for them. If they need Vaishnavana to be saved, immediately he becomes Vaishnavana and preaches the law for them. If they need a petty king he becomes a petty king and preaches the law for them. If they need a rich man to be saved, immediately he becomes a rich man and preaches the law for them. If they need a householder to be saved, immediately he becomes a householder and preaches the law for them. If they need a chief minister to be saved, immediately he becomes a chief minister and preaches the law for them. If they need a Brahmin to be saved, immediately he becomes a Brahmin and preaches for them. If they need a monk, a nun, a layman believer, or a laywoman believer to be saved, immediately he becomes a monk, a nun, a layman believer, or a laywoman believer and preaches the law. If they need the wife of a rich man, of a householder, a chief minister, or a Brahmin to be saved, immediately he becomes those wives and preaches the law. If they need a young boy or a young girl to be saved, immediately he becomes a young boy or a young girl and preaches the law for them. If they need a heavenly being, a dragon, Gandharva, Anasura, a Garuda, a Kimnara, a Mahuraga, a human or a non-human being to be saved, immediately he becomes all these and preaches the law. If they need a Vajra-bearing God to be saved, immediately he becomes a Vajra-bearing God and preaches the law for them. Inexhaustible intent, this Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world, sounds succeeded in acquiring benefits such as these and taking on a variety of different forms, goes about among the land saving living beings. For this you and the others should single-mindedly offer to Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds. This Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, perceiver of the world sounds, can bestow fearless those who are in fearful, pressing, or difficult circumstances. That is why in the Saha world everyone calls him bestower of fearlessness. Bodhisattva, exhaustible intent, said to the Buddha, world honored one, now I must offer to Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sounds. And he took from his neck a necklace adorned with numerous precious, 100 or 1,000 pieces of gold, and presented it to the Bodhisattva, saying, Sir, please accept this necklace of precious gems as a gift in the Dharma. At the time Bodhisattva Bodhisattva perceiver, willing to accept the gift inexhaustible intent, spoke once more to Bodhisattva perceiver of the world sound, saying, Sir, out of compassion for us, please accept this necklace. And the Buddha said to perceiver of the world sounds, out of compassion for this Bodhisattva inexhaustible intent, and for the four kinds of believers, the heavenly kings, dragons, yakshas, gandharvas, asuras, garudas, kimnaras, mahoragas, human and non-human, you should accept this necklace. Thereupon Bodhisattva perceiver of the world sounds, having compassion for the four kinds of believers and the beings, dragons, human and non-human beings, and the others, accepted the necklace, and dividing it into two parts, presented one part to Shakyamuni and presented the other to the tower of the Buddha. Many treasures, the Buddha said, inexhaustible intent, these are the kinds of freely exercised supernatural powers that Bodhisattva perceiver of the world sounds displays in his comings and goings in the Saha world. At the time Bodhisattva inexhaustible intent posed this question in verse form, world honored one replied with wonderful features, I now ask you once again, for what reason the Buddha's son is perceiver of the world sounds, a honored one endowed with wonderful features, reply to inexhaustible intent in verse, listen to the actions of the perceiver sounds, how aptly he responds in various quarters. His vast oath is deep as the ocean, kalpas pass, but it remains unfathomable. He has did many thousands and millions of Buddhas, setting forth his great pure vow. I will describe him in outline for you. Listen to his name, observe his body, bear him in mind, not passing the for he can wipe out the pains of existence. Suppose someone should conceive a wish to harm you, should push you into a great pit of fire. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and the pit of fire will change upon if you should be cast adrift on the vast ocean, menaced by dragons, fish, and various demons. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and the billows and waves cannot drown you. Suppose you are on the peak of Mount Su, and someone pushes you off. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and you will hang in midair like the sun. Suppose you are pursued by evil men who wish to throw you down from a diamond mountain. Think on of the perceiver of sounds, and they cannot harm a hair of you. Suppose you are surrounded by evil-hearted bandits, each brandishing a knife to wound you. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and at once all will be swayed by compassion. Suppose you encounter the king's law, face punishment, about to forfeit your life. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and the executioner's sword will be broken to bits. Suppose you are imprisoned in cages, unlock hands and feet, fetters and chains. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and they will fall off, leaving you free. Suppose with curses and various poisonous herbs someone should try to injure you. Think on the power perceiver of sounds, and the injury will rebound upon the originator. Suppose you encounter evil rakshas, poison dragons, and various demons. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and then none of them will dare to harm you if evil be should. Their sharp fangs and claws inspiring terror. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and they will scamper away in boundless retreat of lizards, snakes, vipers, scorpions, threaten you with poison breath that sears like flame. Think on the power of that voice, they will flee of themselves if clouds should bring thunder and lightning strike. If hell pelts or drenching rain comes down. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and at the moment they will vanish away. If living beings in weariness or peril, immeasurable suffering pressing them down, the power of the perceiver of sounds, wonderful wisdom is the gaze of great and encompassing wisdom, the gaze of pity, the gaze of compassion. Constantly we implore him, constantly look up in reverence. His pure light, free of blemishes, the sun, dispelling all darkness. He can quell the wind and fire of misfortune, and everywhere bring light to the world. The precepts from his compassionate body shake us like thunder. The wonder of his pitying mind is like a great cloud. We do the Dharma rain to quench the flames of earthly desires. When lost officials, when terrified in the midst of an army, think on the power of the perceiver of sounds, and hatred in all its forms will be dispelled. Wonderful sound, perceiver of the world sounds, Brahma sound, the Sitai sound, they surpass those sounds of. Therefore you should constantly think on them from thought to thought, never entertaining down. Perceiver of the world sounds, pure sage to those in suffering, in danger of death. He can offer aid and support endowed benefits. He views living beings with compassionate eyes. The sea of his accumulated blessings is immeasurable. Therefore you should head to him at the time. The Bodhisattva earth holder immediately rose from his seat, advanced and said to the Buddha, world honored one, if there are living beings who hear this chapter on Bodhisattva, perceiver of the world sound, freedom of his actions, his manifestation of a universal gateway powers, it should be known that the benefits these persons gained are not few. When the Buddha preached this chapter on the universal gateway, a multitude of 84,000 persons in the assembly all conceived the determination to attain the parallel state of Anuttara Samyak Sambuddhi. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Namo Sabdanam Samyak Sambuddhi Kotinam Tadyata Hum Chale Chole Chunde Swaha. Namo Sabdanam Samyak Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyata Hum Chale Chole Chunde Swaha. Namo Sabdanam Samyak Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyata Hum Chale Chole Chunde Swaha.
The Parnaparamita. The Bodhisattva Avalokita,
While moving in the deep course of Prajnaparamita, shed light on the five skandhas and found them equally empty. After this penance, he overcame ill-being. Listen, Shariputra, form is emptiness, emptiness is form, form is not other than emptiness, emptiness is not swaha gate gate parak parasam gate bodhi swaha gate gate para gate parasam gate bodhi swaha namo amitabhaya tatha gata yata yata rito bhavi amrita siddham bhavi amrita vikranti amrita vikranta gamini gagana kari swaha namo amitabhaya tatha gata yata yata amrito bhavi amrita siddham bhavi amrita vikranti vikranta gamini gagana kirta kari swaha namo amitabhaya tatha gata yata yata amrito bhavi amrita siddham bhavi vikranti amrita vikranta gamini gagana kirta kari swaha.
Invoking our Buddhist Bodhisattva, we invoke your name,
Avalokiteshvara. We aspire to learn your way of listening in order to help relieve the suffering in the world. You know how to listen in order to understand. We invoke your name in order to practice listening with all our attention and open-heartedness. We
will seat and listen.
without any prejudice. We will sit and listen without judging or react. We will sit and listen in order to understand. We will sit and listen so attentively that we will be able to hear what the other person is saying and also what is being left unsaid. We know that just by listening deep, we already alleviate a great deal of pain and suffering in the other person. Namo Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. 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 Namo Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva.
We bow together. The three refuges. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and of love. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community that live in harmony and awareness. dwelling in the refuge of Buddha. I clearly see the path of light and beauty in the world, dwelling in the refuge of Dharma. I learn to open many doors on the path of transformation, dwelling
in the refuge of Sangha, shining like the
support me, keeping my practice free of obstruction. Taking refuge in the Buddha, in myself, I aspire to help all people recognize their own awakened nature, realizing the mind of love, taking refuge in the Dharma, in myself, I aspire to help all people fully master the way of practice and work together on the path of liberation, taking refuge in the Sangha. In myself, I aspire to help all people build fourfold community, to embrace all beings and support their transformation. Sharing the merit, reciting